What's up guys, Mr. Basie here, and today we're playing some more Seduce Me 2, the Demon War demo. Actually going to be tackling the secret introduction today. I've done all the other intros up until this point, and I am sorry it took me a little while to get this out. I know I said I was going to do it relatively soon after the previous one, but for those of you that follow my channel, you know I do a bunch of other games too, and there were a bunch of timed events that were happening on a few games that were like literally back to back and really kind of hindered me from doing anything but those things for a while. And they were fun, don't get me wrong, but I mean it was kind of annoying because I wanted to get back to this and all my other stuff too, especially this. This is a game that I've really taken a liking to, and I can't wait for the full game to be coming out, which is going to be coming out in a few months, if I'm not mistaken, is the estimate for the game's release, and you know we're going to be tackling that. That's going to be awesome. So we're definitely back in action today, and that might mean one or two things. It depends how far this thing goes. I don't know what this intro is going to be. It's a secret intro, so it might get even more spicy than what we're used to, but who really knows? So without further ado, let's get it kicked off. Oh, and conveniently, this is actually going to be coming out not really sometime around Valentine's Day, but the same month, like a week or so away from Valentine's Day. So, hey, that's pretty cool too. But either way, let's get it kicked off. All right, here we go. What is your name? Let's go with Lisa. Oh, no, not Mika Lisa. That'd be a bit weird. There we go. That's what I originally had my Seduce Me 1 playthrough. I was in love with a succubus. Okay. Well then, okay. It was true. I had fallen for the charms of a succubus, and we probably know who that is too. And I was about to dive headfirst into the demon world with her to save her kingdom. Oh yeah, we know who it is.
Do you have any regrets?
Psh, yeah, right. None. I smiled as Dinah held me in her arms and carried us both through the night sky. We had shared a sweet kiss. Delicious. The first of hopefully many in the future, and we're about to cast a spell to enter the demon world. Diana looked to the ground that was far below us and pointed her free hand down towards it, closing her eyes. It was beautiful. Shh. As the last word left her mouth, a large purple pentagram appeared in the grass before twisting and becoming a black void. I gripped onto Diana, scared at what I was seeing.
Last chance.
We can't come back? I can never say hi to anyone again? I mean, I know we're going to be diving into some hellish stuff, but I want to say bye to Mom and Dad, you know? I gulped at the sight, not sure of what to make of this. Was this really what I wanted to do? My curiosity, however, guided my decision and forced me to take a deep breath. I closed my eyes and let calm wash over me before looking up at Diana. Let's go. Diana smiled and wrapped both arms around me, laying a protective hand over my head.
Hang on.
Got you. I tightened my grip on Diana, obeying her command. As I held tight, I felt air quickly begin to rush past our bodies as Diana tilted back and began to let us fall towards the ground. Was she insane? I looked at Diana, seeing her smirk at me before closing her eyes. I did the same, naturally preparing for an impact with the ground. What I felt was a cool rush of energy brushing over my skin, as if I had fallen into water. I slowly opened my eyes and found myself staring into a vast, dark space, holding onto a woman who was no longer wearing clothes. Oh my! Oh, well then. Jeez. Oh, there we go. I thought it was going to be a little bit more explicit, but I was clinging to a woman who had no clothing, but instead had purple marks across her skin and horns adorning her head. However, I could tell that this woman was still Diana, just by looking into her eyes. She looks like Diana. I mean, she just doesn't... She's naked right now. Diana smiled at me and kissed my forehead before tightening her hold on me and muttering softly, Pardon? I held onto her body as I felt us begin to move through the space, as if a giant fan had pushed us forward. Onward, we continued through the darkness, with me unsure of where we were going and Diana guiding the way. We began to slow, and soon a small light appeared, slowly growing as we got closer to it. I had to shut my eyes as it began to consume us. I felt weightless. I couldn't feel anything except the woman in my arms, and it felt somehow exquisite. I wanted to drown in this feeling, become lost in it. However, our journey through the light was coming to an end. The light around us faded away, and soon I found myself lying on Diana as she lay on a stone floor. The air, however, smelt of fire and blood. Romantic. That is the first word. No, I'm just kidding. That's not the first word that comes to mind. Oh! I looked up, seeing fire everywhere in sight. What the hell? This was the demon world? Ah! Oh my. A loud shout forced me to look over and see a man running at me with a spear and a rage-filled expression. I screamed and rolled off Diana, scooting away to avoid being skewered. As he continued towards me, I screamed. No! Oh. I looked up to see Diana kneeling in front of me and gripping the man's spear, pointing it away from her. The man stared wide-eyed at Diana as she glared back.
My lady, you live?
What? She just grabbed your spear, bro. Yeah, she lives.
Of course I do. I told you I would return, and thus I have.
The man gave a small sigh of relief, lowering his weapon and propping it up to lean against it. As I examined him now that he wasn't gunning for me, he was wounded and exhausted, panting heavily and gripping his spear tightly.
I'm so glad.
Aww. As he finally toppled over, Diana gasped and rushed over, kneeling beside him. Is he dead?
Settle!
Oh no! I rushed over as well, wanting to see what was going on. Who was he? Why did he attack me? Why was the room on fire?
Settle! What happened?
All relevant questions.
We were attacked by the Demon Lord. He took advantage of your absence.
Really? She's that powerful that he's like, okay, well now that she's gone, I'm going to go ahead and make my attack. I began to cough violently. We needed to get out of this room wherever we were. Diana, we need to get out of here. Whoa, the whole castle. Is this a spell? It looks like a spell. Diana nodded and grabbed my hand in Sarah's, chanting under her breath. The room around us began to shift, as if we were changing instead of us moving. Soon we were outside a castle, staring at it as flames erupted from each window. What was happening? Diana's face was of pure shock, staring at the castle in absolute terror. All of the color, besides for her purple marks on her skin, had faded to a pale white in horror.
We drove them back, but the flames are too powerful.
Oh no. How many people did they lose? At that moment, something in Diana's eyes changed. Her anger sparked and she stood, quickly walking around us and towards the castle. Diana!
Come! I command thee, white winds! Crush these fires beneath your hands!
Yo, is that gonna work? I stared as the wind in the air quickly began to pick up and a purple glow began to surround Diana's body. It was like a storm was rushing towards us, but there was no rain or thunder, just wind. The winds forced back the flames that danced in the windows and smoke began to rise from each one, signaling the death of the fire. The windows continued to be filled with wind and air, most likely to kill the flames deep within the walls. I, however, could only stare at Diana. Her body was rigid and her gaze was intently focused on the stone castle. Soon the winds began to die out, and all that was left was smoke rising from the windows into the dark purple and black sky.
You did it. How?
That's pretty ridiculous, man. She's like, that is some Avatar airbending right there. Diana looked to Sarah, intensity still embedded in her eyes.
Where are the king and queen?
I heard Sarah's breath hitch, and I turned to look at him. He had a look of pure pain and guilt. What had happened? Diana walked over and stared down at him, now almost glaring daggers at him as she clenched her fists at her sides.
Speak, Seto!
Oh, jeez. He's in some deep shit.
The imp demons. While we were fighting the flames and the army, the imp demons snuck through our defenses.
Oh, the freaking imp. The same dudes that snatched me and keep looking up at the dress. The same dudes, right? I mean, they sound like imps. My heart, despite not fully understanding the situation, began to tighten. Something was incredibly wrong. Sarah shut his eyes as a pair of demons I assumed to be allies rushed over and began to cast magic over his body, closing his wounds.
They snuck into their room.
Oh no. Diana suddenly turned and bolted towards the castle, causing me to jump up. Diana! I began to sprint after her, following her inside the castle and trying to keep up with her. Her panicked breath kept me following her direction, despite her fast twists and turns through the ashy corridors.
No.
Oh no. I could hear Diana sobbing, praying as she ran. She prays? I did my best to keep up, not wanting to lose her and not wanting her to be alone right now. We turned into a long hallway that had a pair of golden doors at the end. They were unscathed, as if the flames had not disturbed the door or perhaps the room behind it.
Please be alive. Please!
I have a good feeling about it. Diana bolted for the doors and began to pull them open, grunting at the weight. I stopped running, skidding forward from the abrupt stop. Whomever she wanted alive, I hoped that they were as well. As the doors finally opened, however, the foul stench of blood erupted from behind them, the scent filling my nostrils. Diana flung the doors wide open and could only stare at the sight we both saw. Blood covering the floor, the wall. Oh my god, did they pop? What's going on? The entire room was painted in gore, skin, bone, and massive amounts of blood. Delicious. Only 3 things, barely coated in red, stood in the middle of the room on the ground. 2 broken crowns, and a small tiara that was barely large enough to fit a newborn's head. Yo, the chill I just got, dude.
No.
Oh. Diana slowly walked into the room, the blood on the ground painting her bare feet, and she fell to her knees in front of the items, staring down at them. I couldn't bring myself to enter the room with her. I watched as she lifted them to her chest, curling her shoulders over herself and shaking almost violently.
Father.
Oh.
Mother. Audibel.
It was the kid. Shit. As she continued to grieve over the ornaments in her hands, a dark, almost deadly, oh Jesus, an evil-looking aura surrounded her body. It began to flicker and grow, like a dark flame that wanted to engulf the room she knelt in. As it reached an apex and began to violently flicker through the room around her, Diana arched back and screamed to the ceiling, her voice heavily laced with magic, pain, and rage. Oh, shit. Yo, he's not gonna be happy the next time he sees her, dude. You better cover your gonads. Jesus. Oh! That was it, huh? I mean, I'm not gonna complain. That was intense, dude. I still have shivers. Like the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. Wow, that was crazy. All right, guys. Well, that was intense. I think that's the best word that I have for this. It was pretty awesome. And I really can't wait for the full game to be released. I'm not going to speak for the developer or anything, and so I can't really say when there's going to be a release date, but I'm pretty sure the estimated release date was a few months from now. But again, I can't be sure on that. I'll drop it in the description if I can actually figure out the exact date or just like a roundabout date of or month when it'll be coming out. But even if it's like a year, 2 years, or 3 years from now, I don't care. This game is on my bucket list for sure. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. And basically, it's not just the intros that did this. It was a Seduce Me 1, really. Made me kind of really like this game a lot and makes me want to keep going. But the intros are for sure making me pumped about it, that's for sure. But either way, let me know what you thought of the secret intro here. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And does it pump you up for the actual game? Because I know for me, it definitely does. And which Incubi out of the 5 that you see here, or the 5 that are in the game, was your favorite out of all these intros and all that stuff? Or maybe just in general? I'd really like to know. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely make sure you rate the video what you think it deserved. If you did enjoy, please consider sharing the video as well, whether that be like Facebook, Twitter, any social media really, or even word of mouth with your friends is really awesome too. Of course, that directly helps me and the community, and of course, is greatly appreciated. If you want to become a Sage in training, make sure you subscribe today. And as always, this has been Mr. Basie, your favorite Sage, and I'll see you in the next video.